Say his name. Fuzz angling and salutations, my lovely little lunatics. It's me, your good old internet psychopath, Insanity. I'm here today with my co-host, Bob. Hello. And today on the Insane Report, I don't know if it's because it doesn't fit the narrative or because they just don't care. We've talked about how, I mentioned it, how there have been studies talking about people in media are in their little bubble. In 2016, it was a small bubble. Now it's an even smaller bubble. And I think that's kind of the reason why you don't hear a lot about these two stories. Well, it's funny because now, as I looked up a story today, just to have a quick little article about it, let me just seeing there was a terrible loss of a 5-year-old child, Hinnant. I think, I'm sorry if I'm saying the name correct, but he was out on his bicycle when a neighbor went up to him, put a gun to his head, shot him in front of his siblings, and then ran off back to his home. There's not a whole lot of details out on why this abhorrent monster did this, but he is now in jail and being prosecuted for first-degree murder. But this happened a couple days ago, and look here, but it just didn't catch the news. There was a Twitter campaign, say his name, because the media wouldn't. But look here now. CNN 3 hours ago. USA Today 12 hours ago. ABC 11 13 hours ago. ABC 7 14 hours ago. Guess it worked. But why? Why did it take such a backlash? Why didn't they just come out with this story, this newsworthy story? Hey, they're willing to talk about Karens all day long. But the straight up murder of a 5-year-old child in front of other children, not a peep. Not a peep. Why? Like I said, originally I was just sitting there thinking, it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative. And that is honestly a good, that's probably good, that's a good valid reason as per why they may not have done this. But maybe they just don't care. They don't see that as newsworthy. And that's the scarier thing. They are so caught in their little bubbles that they didn't even know about it. Because once again, it's one massive circle jerk. And for all we know, in that circle jerk, they just never even heard about any of this. Until the giant backlash on Twitter. Then they heard about it. Because I'm betting these people, they don't watch any other news. These journalists, they don't watch Fox News. They don't do anything like that. Only reason Brian Stelter does is just to sit there and be the Fox News commentary channel. But then there's also the story. This happened a while ago, but the police footage finally got revealed. Story about Ryan Whitaker. Yes, there are moments where cops royally screw up. And even though my little brother's a cop, I know that, and I accept that fact. But I also accept the fact that It's not all cops. Not all cops are bastards. No, they're not. Most aren't. However, I also don't think that these cops are bastards. I think, once again, it comes down to just how poorly trained these cops are. So this man, Ryan Whitaker, he and his wife were sitting there. Also, Ryan Whitaker is a father who, I believe the day before the day of the shooting, went to go to his daughter's graduation. But yeah, no. Yeah, there's his daughter. There's Ryan. There he is right there. So basically, what ends up happening, I'm not playing the video. Even though it is partially censored, I'm just not going to play it. So what ends up happening is it's 10 o'clock at night. They're making salsa and playing Crash Bandicoot. And, okay, apparently it's a little loud. So what does their neighbor do? The neighbor calls in and claims it's a domestic abuse case. And let's see if we can get here to... Oh, wait, it's on this one. Where was it? They were making salsa. It was up here. Yeah, no, here he is. The Phoenix Police Department knew from the night of the shooting that this was a false and exaggerated 911 call. The two 911 calls complained about people screaming at each other, and the caller said he couldn't sleep because of the noise. The second call alleged the shouts escalated into a physical fight. It could be physical. I could say, yeah, if that makes anybody hurry on up. Get anybody here fast. I've listened to the call, and yeah, the call just... to a seasoned individual, a seasoned person who takes 911 calls, it sounds odd. To me, it sounded odd. But, once again, training, maybe you've come into it. Maybe it's someone brand new. So what do? They show up. Actually, we will look at this, because they show up. As you can clearly see, there's Mr. Whitaker. Cops are on either side of the door, far away from the peephole. You can't see. It's 10 o'clock at night. And and there apparently have already been reports of issues around there. Around that area. So, Mr. Whitaker, not being able to see who's there, who's knocking on his door, opens his door. He has a gun, which is his legal right. They freak the hell out. When he realizes it's cops, he tries to drop the gun and get on his knees. And is shot in the back by the other officer, the officer behind him. This all happens less than a minute, less than probably even 30 seconds. Yeah, no, just, boom, boom, boom. Actually, we think we will. See, look, here they are, other side of the door. Can't see. Face is covered. Oh, look. Oh. And boom, 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 boom. He's dead. They then have his wife have to come out and walk over his dying body. Where's all of this defund the police stuff? Where's this outrage? There isn't any. There's the cops. I believe the cops are being, I'm trying to remember, see if they did anything about whether the cops would or would have not fired on Whitaker is relevant. We consider that Whitaker did nothing criminal in response to the few seconds opening up the door. Yeah, it's that whole thing of what kind of action, what really, it's just one of those things. It's truly sad. It's just because I can't see any moment in my mind where that is in any way justified. We've seen the George Floyd tape, the actual body cam footage, and I have seen a bunch of people who are screaming, "Those cops deserve death sentences." Gone. Cricket silence. It's not as black and white as the media made it to be. No, it's not. Yet, in these situations, it either takes mass public shaming or there's just not really that much coverage of it. There's no outrage towards it. Because a white man, a father, good man, swatted, had someone make false calls, he was swatted, and he was shot within seconds. Cannon? Not until a massive public shaming did they even say anything about him. Because white gets killed by a black guy doesn't fit narrative, or once again, they just do not care. Media doesn't care. If it doesn't fit their narrative, they will either not give two shits about it or just not even realize that it's there. Not even see it. Right over their heads. I need you all to remember that when reading news from places like CNN, USA Today, MSNBC, NBC, all these places. Because they don't care about your rights. They don't care about anything that has to do with you. They care about money. They care about them rage clicks. Because in the end, I know I see so many YouTubers getting so many more views and all that. And the only thing they can do is go further and further left. And they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure Trump doesn't get elected. They will walk over the bodies. They will walk over a mountain of Cannon and Ryans to see what they want done. You need to remember that. And when people, if you know them, who only follow those media sources, ask them about Cannon. And when they say, oh yeah, they did make something out, ask them about did they know about the Say His Name campaign on Twitter? Ask them about Ryan. Where's the defund the police stuff on that? We need to open people's eyes, because I know plenty of people. I've been talking with my brother-in-law, who's going to vote Joe Biden, and talks about news stuff thinking he's tapped in, and then I show him and then and I ask him, did he see the footage? And he's like, yeah, I saw the footage. Did you see the whole tape? And he can never say yes. He never once says yes. But he thinks he's tapped into all this. And I have to tell him, because he's hooked into Reddit thinking that cesspool, it used to be good. I used to get my news from there. And then I saw the trends, and he never did. And I originally, trying to talk with him about it, he just thought, he got enraged, because that's all they do. They get enraged because they think you're attacking them personally. And I'm not attacking him personally. I honestly am sitting there wondering, I want him to see the full picture. And now, it's not as bad. He still has his knee-jerk moments whenever I contradict him on things. But he needs to be contradicted, because he's a good guy. He's just not tapped in anywhere near as much as he thinks. And then I show him stuff, and you see that wall crumbling a little bit more. The glass shatter, that crack in the glass a little bit more before it shatters, and he realizes. That's where I'm going to end this little story. That's where I'm going to end this episode. If you liked this episode and you like me bringing attention to stuff like this, then please shank that like button. And subscribe for more ENSane. And I will see you all later. Have a good weekend, everybody. Yeah, have a good one. Sit back, play some video games, sit with your loved ones, maybe turn off the news for a bit. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Bye, sis.